right, guys, welcome to an episode of Pick Money, the podcast. I got somebody with us today that might be, out of all the people I've met in my journey here in 30 years, there's a lot of people that are locked in some of the time. There's some folks that are locked in the majority of the time. There's very few that are locked in all the time. Kenny Brooks, Funny Salesman, is a dude who's locked in all the time. How you doing, brother?
I'm great. I'm great. Blessed and highly favored. How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm feeling the exact same, and I'm blessed to have you on. And I'm excited what we're going to talk about today. And I want to let you rip, Kenny. You know, Kenny's if you're around, we'll be with Kenny at the end of January with about 6,000 people in Dallas. He'll be up on stage, letting it rip, entertaining you, challenging you, and empowering you. And you know, Kenny, I've been selling since I was, probably legit, but legitimately getting paid since I was 17, 18. Okay. As an independent contractor, my deal, no mommy, no daddy paying bills, me handling my shit. I've met very few people that I've learned anything from in sales. And no disrespect. I mean, they're not great people. I learned about leadership, but I really took to sales. You've taught me a ton by being around you. First of all, if you get around Kenny and he's focused, he's in control of the conversation. If Kenny's talking and he knows where he wants to go, bro, you can talk all you want. Kenny's still going. Like, he's with you. He's respectful. Kenny, talk to us, because here on this pod, we launched it for one reason and one reason only. I want people to understand in their lives how to go out there and pick money for themselves. You learned at a very young age how to pick money for you. But I want, if you don't mind, Kenny, talking to us about the communication skills you got. You weren't born with them. You didn't come out of mama's womb. Like, I didn't come out of my mama's womb. Like, you created these. Right. Talk to us about that journey, how Kenny got to be such an unbelievable communicator, which made you such an unbelievable salesperson. Please.
Right. Well, first and foremost, I come from a big family. So like, I feel like when you come from a big family, because like even myself, I got 10 kids right now, and it's like I'm watching my 2-year-old. She learning stuff that like she learning how to talk and say different words just because she see her siblings. You know what I'm saying? And I grew up with like six. Like it was 6 of us. You know what I'm saying? So like when you got siblings, it's like, you know what I mean? We used to roast each other, get on each other's nerves and stuff. But I was always, I would say I was like the comedian, the black sheep of the family, the one that kept it going. But I installed confidence at an early age because I took a door-to-door job. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, people don't know, like door-to-door to me is like the secret to society. It's like Illuminati, you know what I'm saying? Because you learn how to find yourself. You know what I'm saying? You learn your strengths and weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people all the time, like I just did a podcast. I was just watching it earlier with my family, and I was telling the guy Jay Hill on the podcast that I learned so much stuff knocking on doors that I never even learned in school. You know what I'm saying? Like dealing with like financial literacy, all the way to generational wealth, all the way to credit, all the way to, because you talking to the smartest people in the world. You know what I'm saying? You might knock on a lady door that has something to do with NASA. You might knock on this person's door that probably, that probably has something to do with, the Big Bang Theory. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Even a dummy know to buckle up. So God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. You know what I mean? So that means you got to listen twice as much as you talk. I was dumb enough to listen, and I was smart enough to apply what I learned. And one thing my mentor told me when I first got into the door-to-door industry at 12 years old, he said to stick to the pros so you won't get conned. You know what I mean? So I always was a sponge to everything. I stayed new. I was picking people's brain. The dumbest question was the one you didn't ask. So I always was seeking opportunities, seeking different ways to create an income for myself. And at 12 years old, I found out besides actors and entertainers, the highest paid people in the world was salespeople. You know what I mean? Because you can go from welfare to Rockefeller. You can go to sleep broke. You can wake up to a paycheck just by having the right mindset and having the right attitude. You know what I mean? And I also was talking about, like, I think it's very important to become a salesperson at an early age, because when you a young kid, you got this imagination. You know what I mean? Like I watch my kids all the time. Like they'll be outside playing with their friends, and they'll see a exotic car pull up and they be like, oh, that's my car. You know what I'm saying? They see a Ferrari, they see a Lamborghini, they see a Porsche. That's my car. But if they see a Nissan Altima, they gonna be like, "What the hell is that?" You know what I mean? So it's like that's how, you know what I mean? That's how we is when we little kids. We got that imagination because we so hopeful and we so optimistic. The more we get older, the more stubborn we get, the more discouraged we get. So I feel like you got to catch on real early and get locked in. And that's was the gift that I created. And I found my gift at an early age. And I ain't even have to wake up for Christmas, even though my birthday is after Christmas, because I found my gift and I found my niche early. I found out that I was a people person. I found out that I was likable. I found out that I had a great attitude. I found out that I was likable. And I mixed that with my personality and I was winning people over. It was to the point that I was selling people off handshakes at 12 years old, just because the eyes is a window to the soul, and I fell in love with what I was doing at an early age. And like I quote the Zig Ziglar quote all the time, he said, "If you found something that you really love, you would never have to work a day in your life." So I feel like when I was taking the door-to-door job, I never treated it as a job in the first place. I treated it as a curriculum, a journey, a venture. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because I never knew what the next door was gonna bring. You know what I'm saying? I always told myself, man, I was one door from changing my life. And that's exactly what happened. Fast forward now, look, I'm on a podcast with my brother Sean. So, you know.
Well, first of all, thank you for that. That was unbelievable, and I hope y'all took it in. Kenny, I want to talk about real money. I want to talk about real net making money. One of the things I've always liked about in talking to you is you're never afraid to advocate for you, because advocating for you is for advocating for your family. Like I always, people say to me, "Will you do this for me?" I'm like,
Right.
dude, I'll do something that will help you do for you. But bro, like, I don't work for free. Like, I'm
Facts.
not mad at you, bro. I just don't. My mom worked for free. I don't work for free. And we didn't have
Facts.
nothing. My mom worked for free. I'm not mad at my mom's awesome. But I want you to talk, because in today's world, I was with a group yesterday and I'm like, how much did you make last month? And he said, how much did I sell? I said, no, bro, how much did you make? I didn't have however many you sold of whatever you sold. That's great, dude. I'm happy. And it doesn't happen overnight. Because the Nissan Altima, I was driving my Honda Accord, bro, 340,000 miles in that motherfucker, and I was selling life insurance in it, and I owned the company, and I hit a deer in Connecticut on Route 2 coming down through Colchester, and I was like, damn, what am I going to do? And the cop was like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, dude, but this is my car. This is my sales machine. Like, I got to
Right.
get going. And I drove that thing back to Plainfield, but the radiator was leaking so much antifreeze, and when it was total, the insurance company gave me like $300 for it, which I don't think is worth $300. Talk to us, Kenny, about you. You're doing all the things you love, and you are. I love the energy that you have. And I tell people, you want to get good at recruiting, get great at sales, carry yourself in a great way, and people will ask you what you're doing. You don't even have to do that. You just walk, and they'll come ask you what you're doing. How
Right.
have you been able to help people understand, hey, bro, you don't pay your bills with likes. You don't pay your bills with followers. You don't pay your bills with somebody said this about, like, you pay your bills by selling something, being valuable to somebody. How do you help people? And how did you always allow yourself to be so focused on, bro, I got 10 kids to feed, dude. Like, I got
Right.
to go to work and I need to make, because in today's world, I live in Southern Florida. And people
Right.
say, what is it like? I go, it's the land of the fake rich. I got
Right.
dudes that are leasing a couple $100,000 cars in their 30s living with their mom. That's not a bad, that's their business. But walking around taking pictures of the car all day long that they won't have because they can't make the payments. That's
Right.
not picking money. That's
Right.
picking recognition over money. How did
No,
you
that's
stay
a fact.
focused on picking money and take care of your family?
Um, Number one, I had a purpose. You know what I'm saying? I feel like anybody, they gotta find a purpose. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have a why. What's your why? What's the reason why you wake up in the morning? Soon as you wake up in the morning, God lets you breathe. Like one thing I learned, someone told me not too long ago, they said if God bless you to see another day, you got another 24 hours to chase your dream. So we all got 24 hours in our day. You know what I'm saying? So some people looking for excuses while other people looking for opportunity. And they say the same tree that the bee go visit and get honey from, the same spider go get poison. You know what I mean? So it's all about, it's all about your why. You know what I mean? My why was that, I wanted to make my family and my grandmother proud. And then when I start having these kids that didn't ask to come in this world, that really turned me up because I said, you know what? I remember my grandmother, my mentor, told me that it ain't your fault if you was born poor, but if you over the age of 18 and you die poor, that's your fault because you had something to do with that. So I feel like that we gotta know our purpose. We gotta find our purpose, and you gotta know your why. What's your why? What motivates you? Who motivate the motivator, the motivatee? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta stay motivated. That's why I be doing a lot of these sales videos, a lot of these podcasts. I be doing a lot of speaking gigs. I do a lot of funny videos, but they don't even know my inspiration behind all of this is to keep the world motivated. Because for everyone that cry, it's 10 that smile. So I know long as I'm keeping people going and I'm keeping people smile, I already know my blessings gonna come. And one of my favorite saying is I always say, count your blessings, not your troubles. But the thing with making money is that it's two things gonna make you money. People gonna make you money and money gonna make you money. So it's easy to make money. And one thing my mentor told me, I remember I asked this millionaire when I was broke as hell. I said, how do you become a millionaire? He said, it ain't how much money you make, it's how much you save. So it ain't even about the money because you can make money in your sleep. It's about what you do with the money. And then it's certain things that money can't buy, like happiness, like integrity, like loyalty. You know what I mean? Like prosperity. So you got to find yourself. You got to love yourself. Once you love yourself, you will be able to have the world love you. See, the reason why the world love me right now is because I found out how to love myself. You know what I mean? And once you get all of that, that's when your blessings come out because God looking at like, okay, this person have found this purpose. Let me go ahead and open up the universe for him and let it work for him. And then it's how you manifest things. I'm a big fan of manifestation. You know what I'm saying? You got to manifest it. I'm pretty sure, Sean, you can sit on this phone and tell me that when we was doing our selling, we can go through a bad day, a slump. We can go through 30,000 phone calls, not get a sale. But soon as we lock in and tell our mental, you know what? This next customer is about to buy. This next customer bought. Am I right? Just like if we told
100%.
ourselves, oh, they ain't buying. They arrogant. Oh, they slamming the phone in my face. Oh, they hanging up on me. And they end up doing that the rest of the day. You know why? Because you got stinking thinking. You got to be careful with the power of the tongue because whatever you put in the universe, that's exactly what's going to happen. Just like in Think and Grow Rich. Henry Ford said, if you think you can, you right. If you think you can't, you still right because them your thoughts. And I always tell a story about two salespeople that went to Iraq to sell shoes. You had an optimistic salesperson and you had a pessimistic salesperson. They went to sell shoes. The pessimistic salesperson was like, dang, we got to sell shoes, man. I ain't got no shoes over here, man. We ain't going to sell nothing. While you got that optimistic salesperson like, dang, I ain't got no shoes over here. I'm about to make a killing. So it's all about what you tell yourself at the end of the day. And that's how you outweigh your outcome. It can become a negative or a positive, but that's the outcome that you bring to the table. So I feel like it's all about your why and your confidence and your belief system, but you always got to have something that create that monster to bring it out of you because I stay hungry no matter what. I don't care if I'd have made $100,000 last month. My mentality is gonna be like I'm super broke because I already know if I die tomorrow, people spending $100,000 in a second. You got Warren Buffett, you got Jeff Bezos, you got Bill Gates. They making $1 million a second. So like you got to understand that's where my creativity come in. I'm always trying to be that next step. Like they say, once you climb that mountain, you got to get to another mountain. And people can't like we in a society right now with social media. They didn't actually kind of handicap this new generation. Like Zig Ziglar said, soon as a person get a job, they quit looking for work. So some people, it's like the new generation, they don't want to work no more. I was just telling people, like when I came up, I'm an 80s baby. I was doing anything it took to make money. I don't care if I had to go rake my neighbor leaves. I just caught my son yesterday raking his neighbor leaves just to make $20 so he can go buy, some Takis or some V-Bucks. He just ain't want to ask me. He said, man, I can go rake these leaves. Man, I can go shovel some snow. I can go pump some gas at the gas pump. I can go door to door, sell some cleaner products. I can go whatever it takes. You know what I mean? I can go spray paint some sidewalks. That's what we was doing. We was trying to get it. Nowadays, you got people that they didn't already they committing financial suicide. Because they already done told themselves, oh, you know what? Man, it's going to be hard for me. While you got this other person, and they probably going through the same thing. But one thing that I learned is that tough times don't last, tough people do. See, it's easy to make money, but it's hard to make people. And that's what it's all about. We got to make people. People got to make their mind up. A made up mind is a dangerous mind. So it's all about that mindset at the end of the day. And that's what created this monster in me because I kept going to Barnes and Nobles. I stayed in the self-improvement aisle looking for different books to trigger that monster inside of me because I'm a product of my environment, but they said it ain't where you from, it's where you going. And that's what created the person I am today. And that's why I stay home because I know that everybody got 24 hours in a day. And at the end of the day, I'm looking at all of these big moguls and all of these big business owners and all of these icons that's making millions of dollars every day, every month, every week. And I'm like, you know what? I got a long way to go. That's why I got to stay
Mhm.
hungry. And that's what it's all about.
Well, I think you said a ton there. It was unbelievable. And I like what you said. Kids didn't ask to be brought in this world, bro. And I will tell you that as a parent and as a father, I can't speak to you as I'm a father. Like, I'm a man. I can tell you you're a father, Kenny. I can tell you that at the end of the day, the one thing I'm sure of is your kids are watching everything you do and everything you don't do. It's the craziest thing. And you know, Kenny, better than anybody. But when you see today, and you said a bunch of times, and I agree with you. You know, I was in a meeting recently, and the guy said, "Why would you be so excited if you were us?" Which I thought was a good question. And I said, because
Right.
people are soft and lazy nowadays, it's really easy, which means if you put forth that work ethic, then you'll smoke everybody because the competition is just waiting and watching. Like they're
That's fact.
not willing to grind. They're not willing to make those sacrifices. They're not willing to go through all those calls you talked about. They ain't willing
No,
to
that's a
knock on
fact.
doors all day long. They're not
Right.
willing. And the bottom line is if there is less that you're unwilling to do than the next guy, you're going to beat them. I tell my
That's
salespeople all the time, I will be number one if I choose to sell again. And that's really
right.
good people. But my argument isn't I'm better at the running the quotes. I'm not, dude. I will just do more things you don't want to do, and I'll do them
Facts.
all. So
Right.
I want to ask you a question. I've heard a lot of people when I was building my businesses, my kids, when I got up to leave to go to work, because they knew at 2 and 4, at 4 and 6, they knew. And if they
Right.
got their choice, dad stayed home or dad went to work at that age, they wanted me to stay home because they don't know nothing. They're 2
That,
and 4. They grab
right.
your leg. Dad, where you
Right.
going? Son got the
Yeah.
little basketball. He want to throw it. My daughter want to show me your dance move. And of course I love my kids. But I'm walking out the door for my kids.
They
I
don't
was
understand.
walking out the door for them because my
Yeah.
job was to be their provider, their protector. And I am a believer. Whatever people get mad, that's my job as a man.
Yeah.
I'm the provider. Somebody
Right.
else provide, cool, but I am the provider. That's the way it works.
Right.
Having 10 children who you appear to have an unbelievable relationship with, and people always say to me, how do you balance it? Well, Kenny, I'm going to ask you that. When people ask you, how does Kenny Brooks career, everything you're doing with 10 children, how do you balance that?
Man, that's a great question. So number one, I'm starting to balance it better now because of the simple fact that I'm getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm getting bigger than what Oprah used to be. So it's like kind of easy now because sometimes I can turn down deals. Like right now, it's Thanksgiving week. This Thanksgiving week, and I got my family. I'm gonna have like about 40 to 50 people here. And I sacrificed. I was like, look, I turned down a couple gigs. I supposed to flew out to Dallas to do a speaking gig. I supposed to flew out to LA to do some skits. I was supposed to do another movie premiere. But I sacrificed that because I'm like, man, we only get one Thanksgiving. We only get like I don't see my family all the time. I haven't seen my mom in like a couple years. I haven't seen my aunt. I shouldn't have to wait to a funeral or to something bad happen to where I can meet up with my family. You know what I mean? The same with my kids. I done missed out on some of my kids' basketball games, practice. I done missed out on my daughter getting potty trained when she first started walking because I've been busy. And the thing is now, when you got the 10 kids and you got a 19-year-old to a 2-year-old, see the 2-year-old, they really didn't like when my kids that's 19, 18, 13, 14 right now, 16, 17, they didn't understand that either. But now when they 17 and they know that whatever they ask daddy, they can get it now. They like, oh, I see why he missed my basketball. I see why he did this. And then the thing is now it's training them mentally. It's training them to become
Yeah.
go-getters. You know what I mean? Because they got our DNA. So it's like they a spitted image of us. It's amazing when you can watch your little mini me's walk around and they got your personality, they got your body language, they got your confidence, they got your mindset, they got everything you have. But the thing is that you got to keep it locked in. So I lead by example. Like I tell people all the time, you can follow somebody to a restaurant and still starve if you follow the wrong leader. So no matter what, you just got to be that great leader and you just got to lead by example. And that's what I'm all about. You because they said that you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. So what I'm always trying to do, I'm always trying to be a better version of me. And that came from being in the game that long, being in door-to-door space, learning myself, like I said, loving myself, because a man can't take care of his kids till he take care of himself. You know what I mean? So I had to learn how to take care of myself first. Once I took care of myself, I was able to take care of whoever it was I needed to take care of. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about. It's about finding yourself, finding your purpose, loving yourself, and displaying that, because at the end of the day, you got a lot of eyeballs watching you. You got Stevie Wonder watching you too, and his eyeballs ain't even that good. So long as you got a lot of eyeballs watching you, you got to stay on point like Stacey Adams. You got to be your biggest fan, your biggest critic, because you never know what tomorrow gonna bring. You know, and life is short. You know what I mean? We all got an expiration date. We all like milk. We don't know when our last day gonna be here. So every day I wake up, I gotta make sure I give my all, because that's all I might need. You know what I mean? So that's what it's all about.
Mhm. Well, I think, and also, and good for you, because I was a '70s baby, bro. 'Cause I'm 52 years old. Okay,
Right,
and
right.
it took me a while to get to a point where I was like, you know what, dude, I do need to enjoy the people and the things I did this for, right? But what
Fact.
you have to understand when you're listening and you're trying, dude, early on, you ain't got that choice.
No, that's a fact.
Early on, when you don't have that choice. Like that's why I think a lot of people, Kenny, how long you been grinding? How many years now?
Like 28 years since I was like 12 years old, and I'm
Like
40, so that's
28
20
years. He's
28
40.
years.
Let's even say if we said, well, at 18, still 22 years, dude's been
Facts.
grinding. And he's
Right.
just getting to a place where it's like, hey, man, you know what? Thanksgiving, 40, 50 people, my family. And that's why you are where you are. And I had a guy tell me a long time ago, he said, do you want to work full time until you decide to be able to balance your life and eventually to do what you want to do? Or do you want to work part until the day you die? Like work half-assed hours and like from today's date at 18 to damn whether you
Right.
die at 78, 89, 92, something happens to you. But you gotta make the sacrifice. And then when
That's
you
a
sit
fact.
back on Thanksgiving and you look at everybody, it's so satisfying because of the things you did to get there.
Right.
And people tell me all the time, man, we have a mental health problem, and society say, no, we have a work problem. It's
No, that's
hard
a
to
fact.
not be depressed when you're not doing things that make you feel like you're validated, you're worthwhile, or you make a difference in the world. So
That's
I
a
don't give a
fact.
shit who you are. You can have the greatest mind ever. Sit on your ass long enough. Don't do anything. You will be depressed. And I'm not even a psychiatrist. I will guarantee you I can diagnose you with depression. So, Kenny, now you get in that place. You built this something. And I like what you said. You're now building relationships. You've always been
Yeah.
building them with clients, but now
Right.
you're building these very different relationships, right? Where
Right.
I'm going to speak here, I'm doing a skit there, I'm doing a pod there. Talk to us about what you're looking for as you're
Right.
building these strategic relationships, which allow you to make what you need to make, then your money to make money for you while you're not having to run around all day long. But what are you looking for as you're scaling? Because I watch you and you're building these
Right.
relationships everywhere. You're deciding to say yes, sometimes deciding to say no. What are you
Right.
looking for? How does that look? What's that look like for you?
Well, my end goal of all of this is just to get this message out. I know the world we living in. It's like I'm trying to reach that little kid that's dealing with mental health. That probably lost his mom. That probably woke up today and didn't love himself. That probably had suicide on his mind. I'm trying to reach that kid that's hopeful because he didn't have no sales today and he want to quit his job, but he don't even know. Because I was that kid that this job can change his life. I'm trying to reach that kid that probably went through whatever, you know what I'm saying, in a household, come from broken promises, probably only think that they can make it out of the hood, or that they can make it if they an athlete, or they a rapper, or they got to go sell drugs or go stick up people or rob, steal, and kill. I'm trying to reach that person because it ain't all about that. You got a lot of entrepreneurs out here. Like I'm gonna be honest, this is the most entrepreneurs I ever seen in my life, because when I grew up, it wasn't that many entrepreneurs. You know what I'm saying? It was like you had a lot of stuff people can do. It was more 9-to-5ers than entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm trying to get that message out there, because as long as I'm making an impact in somebody's life, as long as I'm help changing the world, I done did my job. I know that was my purpose. A lot of people, they don't know their purpose. A lot of people live for themselves. They don't live for other people. I live for other people. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I keep getting my blessings, because I know my purpose and I know why I'm here. You know what I mean?
Well, and when you hear people, and by the way, having spent time with you, this is about that for you. Like, it's hard to mess with somebody whose deal is, I want to help people change their lives. Whatever I got to do to help them change their lives. And also, dude, what's weird for me is a lot of folks will come from a very, like, I know what I didn't have growing up.
Right.
And I never thought, when I get there, screw everybody else. Like, I never thought that once. Like, I was like, wouldn't it be cool to help more people? And you are right, because, dude, when I was growing up, I don't even know that I heard the word entrepreneur until I was 16, 17, 18. I barely heard it. Like,
Right.
and also, we didn't have the world we have today, where there's so much accessibility to social media, the internet, where there's so many things for entrepreneurs to do. Then it was like, dude, get a job. Not even because, well, like, there was no other option. When you see, and I want to wrap up with this, when you see all these entrepreneurs around the country, salespeople, you see so many things, and you've learned so many lessons. If there was one lesson, you only get to give them one, that Kenny Brooks is like, for all you entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, salespeople, doing good, not whatever your deal is, having a tough day, what is one thing you'd want them all to leave this pod with today as they move forward in their journey? One lesson, one rule, one thing they need to think about.
This is a nugget I got from my mentor, my manager, Timberland. He said, you want to find something that you really, really love and keep doing it. Just be consistent doing it. You know what I mean? I found something that I loved at 12 years old, and I kept doing it, and now the whole world loved me. Timberland found something that he really loved when he was like 10 years old, making beats. He bought his mother bought him a beat machine at 10 years old. He started doing beats at 10 years old. Now he one of the biggest producers in the world. Shine, you know what I'm saying? You found something that you really love at an early age. You was doing sales at 17. Now you a multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? A billionaire, you know what I'm saying? Like, we found something that we really, really love. So we impacting the world because we found something that we really, really love, and we stay consistent with it. And for those that's out there listening, look, I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna have naysayers that's gonna say, oh, you doing that, don't do that, do something else. You're gonna have people that don't believe in you, because one thing I learned, a person that didn't believe in themselves, how can you stop them? How can you let a person that didn't believe in themselves stop you from believing in yourself? So you got to automatically be your biggest fan at the end of the day, and it's going to pay off. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember my family used to tell me, if you're going to quit anything, don't quit on opportunity. You should quit cheating, quit stealing, quit lying, quit sinning, but don't quit on opportunity. So don't quit. Keep going. You know, when the going get tough, the tough get going. You know what I mean? It's lonely at the top, so you got to keep going. You know what I mean? And once you keep going, you're going to thank me later like Drake. And that's all I got to say.
Well, Kenny, I appreciate you. I love you. I have a lot of respect for you. You always make me feel better. I feel damn good on a daily basis. When I get around you, I feel even better, man. I appreciate what you're doing for the world, for your family, and I appreciate you jumping on Pick Money, man. Y'all want to find Kenny's everywhere. Funny Salesman. You already seen him, unless you ain't got social media or don't have a phone. If you have a phone and social media, you've seen Kenny. If not, you even Stevie Wonder, as my man would say, has seen him. You would know him. I don't care how good your eyeballs are, you'd find Kenny. So, Kenny, I
Right.
appreciate you, man. Have an outstanding week. Great Thanksgiving. Enjoy your family. You've earned it, brother.
Man, I thank you for having me, my brother, man. I appreciate you for having me, and same to you, man. Thank you a lot. It was a pleasure to be on this call with you. Let's keep making a killing without a machine gun, and make sure you have a blessed Thanksgiving and happy holidays to you and the family as well. And we gonna turn up in January. We gonna make a killing. We gonna turn them up.
No doubt you will, man. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you, man. Have a great day. See you guys.
All
Thanks
right,
for
you too,
tuning in.
my brother.
Subscribe, like, share, send it out, man. Everybody is here from Kenny the Funny Salesman. So appreciate y'all.